This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
It's the After Party live on a Monday, and I'm so grateful to have you guys along for the ride. And I totally screwed up. I have to tell you, I don't know why I had it in my head that it's Tuesday and not Monday. I think because last week we had a holiday, and for some reason, I have prepared a trip for you, a virtual trip for Travel Tuesday instead of a hide in your cave Monday. So maybe on this Monday, instead of hiding and cowering in our cave, we'll jump out and see parts of the world, because I'm kind of excited to show you what I have set up. I don't know. It's a typical Kim mistake. Yeah. Hi, Ricky. Thank you. No caves. I know. Maybe we'll flip flop it. Maybe I'll do caves tomorrow. It'll be a hide in your cave Tuesday. Boy, did I ruin it. I'm telling you. Hey, Rhonda. Thank you guys for hanging out. Isn't that always the case? You see people come to San Francisco thinking it's California and it's summer weather, and they got their tank tops on and the short shorts, and they decide to go walk over the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's socked in with fog, right? That's why they sell the touristy fleeces on Pier 39. It's a San Francisco thing. Susan is flexible. Thank you, Susan. We'll flip-flop it. We'll do the caves tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll hide. Today we go out and see the world. I like it. All right. I got some. That's fine. There's no law against traveling on a Monday, says Jim. Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are so nice to me. See, look at this. You guys, I love y'all. I really do. I'm telling you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Great Mark Thompson show today. Tomorrow, of course, we've got David K. Johnston on the show. It's going to be really, really good. And I hope you like the animal portion of today's Mark Thompson show. I thought it was really interesting talking about animal bereavement. I don't hear people talk about that much. We do on this show because we have people that share that they've lost their pets or their animals, or their animals are going through tough times and they're trying to take care of them. Teacher Lori comes to mind, and also Phineas as well. So we talk about it here, but to have a professional come on Mark's show and with that large audience, I think was valuable. So anyway, thank you for being here and for humoring me. Okay. Let's go and jump into the stories that we have today. And some of them have been presented by some of you. This first one, though, come on. I've always been fascinated by these clay terracotta sculptures in China. These are it's members of that you're looking at, the Terracotta Army. And this is an ancient army built to overlook a tomb in China. It was built in 209 BC. It stands guard, the members of this terracotta army stand guard over the tomb of the first emperor. There are 8,000 of these terracotta statues. One of China's most important archaeological discoveries, you could argue. And it's a symbol of ancient Chinese artistic and military sophistication as well. It's incredible that they went to this time, trouble, detail to do this. Incredible. It's also a major tourist attraction. And what happens when you let people in? You learn that we can't have nice things. This is in Xi'an, which is the capital of the northern province of Jiangxi. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has been since 1987. And a guy climbed over the fence. There's a fencing keeping people separated from, you can't just walk amongst the terracotta statues, right? Well, I guess apparently you can. This guy jumps over a fence, jumps into a section of this terracotta army, damages two of these ancient warriors, again, created in 209 BC. He climbs over the guardrail and the protective net and jumped in. This man was found, they say, to suffer from a mental illness, but did it on purpose, tried to damage the terracotta army on purpose. He pushed and he pulled the clay warriors, according to security personnel. Two were damaged to varying degrees, and then he was controlled by security personnel. Hmm, not happy about it. So there's a picture of what most of this area looks like. And here is this guy jumping into an area where some of these statues are located, and a close up you can see of the damage. You can't fix that. How does it manage to stand since 209 BC? And this guy jumps in and wrecks two statues? It makes like there's something that in my body where kind of my heart drops to my stomach. You see something like this that's so special to so many people. That's kind of it might be in China, but it's something for the world to appreciate. And this person damages it. I get that it's a mental illness issue. They got to do a better job at protecting. Yeah. What a bummer, right? Guy just jumped in. I'm telling you. This is a major tourist attraction too, so there's all kinds of people here, and I what I don't want to have happen is for them to, I mean, I do want them to rethink security and maybe, making sure that people are more thwarted from getting in. If it's a matter of hopping over a barrier and a net, maybe make it impossible to get in, and that means that your vision of this is going to be more obscured. Maybe they put it behind a screen, a bulletproof screen so you can't get in. And it sucks that now we have to think of all the ways that people could damage this. What are the ways people could hurt it? Right? What could go wrong? Crazy. So they subdued him. They're investigating. The pit he leapt into though was 18 feet deep. And so that's what really raises concerns about how he was able to get in there and how he was able to get around the security measures they had in place. 2,000 years these statues have been sitting there. So what a bummer. You know, the by the way, the terracotta army was first discovered in 1974 by local farmers who came across that. Can you imagine? you know, you're digging in the field and all of a sudden, what? Whoa, there's something down here. The statues vary in height. The tallest are the generals. There are warriors, there are chariots, there are horses. The there are 3 pits that have the terracotta army. They have more than 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots, 520 horses, 150 cavalry horses. There are other things found in other pits as well. Officials, acrobats, strongmen, musicians. The art is amazing. Over the last 50 years, archaeologists say they've located about 600 pits, a complex of underground vaults across a 22 square mile area. So, pretty cool. Some of these stand upright when they were found, buried in deep in soil. Others were on their backs when they were found. They had to right them and set them back up. So, this site in China ranks with the Great Wall and Beijing's Forbidden City as one of the most popular tourist attractions in China. So they're trying to repair the damage. Maybe it'll help them beef up the security there. I just hope it doesn't impact the way we get to visit and see that. This story is it's a sad situation for bees and humans, you could say. It's an accident In Wadham County, Washington. Let's say Wadham or Watham? Wadham? The Whatcom County, Washington Sheriff's Office say this truck was carrying more than 70,000 pounds of honeybee hives when it rolled over. Oh no. It's right near the Canadian border. The roadway had to be closed for 24 hours. The crash initially reported to be 250,000 bees it was hauling in back. Later they said, nah, not 250,000. It's closer to 14 million bees we had in the back of this truck. And those 14 million bees were swarming around the roadway. The roadway was shut down for 24 hours to allow the bees to return to their hives and locate their queens. More than 24 beekeepers were called in to assist with the rescue efforts. The sheriff said, our goal is to save as many of these bees as possible. They had the on-scene work, including uh, taking the hive boxes out of the overturned truck and returned to use. And by the morning, amazing, because most of these bees returned to their hives and it looks like things are going to be okay. The beekeeper said the bees that didn't return to their hives will likely turn wild, joining existing colonies or maybe even forming new colonies in this area. And that the weather and the environmental conditions in Whatcom County give the bees a very high chance of survival. The accident said to be caused by the driver just not adequately navigating a turn. Truck driver wasn't injured, but it sure caused a hell of a buzzy mess, a bee mess. No honey, just a lot of bees. Crazy. 14 million bees on the roadway. That's an accident you don't want to be near or involved in, right? This story reminded me a little bit of Goldilocks. Look at this. This little bear is so cute. Unless you come face to face with them, of course, which may well have happened to the condo owner where in Florida, where this bear was found sleeping. Police in Florida shared this picture of this bear napping in this lobby of this under construction condo building. This is in Naples, Florida. Black bear sleeping in the lobby on Gulf Shore Boulevard. They said he took a swim in the Gulf earlier, tired himself out. The bear was safely captured by Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission and set back into the wild. But there he is, just napping. This building is just right. Uh, then we have the escape of this zebra. This is a great picture. You imagine you come home, maybe, something trips your security camera. You look down and what? Yeah. This happened in Rutherford County, Tennessee, where you don't necessarily expect to see a zebra trotting down the streets of your subdivision. This is actually a pet zebra, not even at a zoo. Apparently, you can own a zebra in Tennessee. This zebra arrived at its new home on Friday and escaped less than 24 hours later. Went for a run on the highway, got lost in the woods, caused some chaos on Interstate 24. It was seen running through traffic on both sides of the highway, so deputies had to shut down the freeway, but the zebra then ran off into a nearby wooded area. The zebra was still missing Sunday and remained unaccounted for this morning, so I don't know if it's still missing or not, but zebras are legal to be kept as pets in Tennessee, and you don't even need a special permit. No. I guess if you can find a zebra, you can keep a zebra. Yikes. I don't know if I like that. I don't think people should keep zebras. Maybe you could ask, well, what's the difference between keeping a horse and keeping a zebra? But they just feel so much more like wild animals to me and not domesticated. Yeah. It's still on the loose, this zebra. He's on the run. The zebra roaming free in Tennessee. So if you're in Tennessee, be on the lookout. Wes submitted this story. And it gives me the creeps. Thanks, Wes. AI refusing to shut itself off, in some cases, changing its own code. This story out of the Daily Mail, it says that AI has started ignoring human instruction and refuses to turn off, according to researchers. The latest Chat GPT artificial intelligence model has refused to switch itself off, disobeyed human instruction, will not power down. Okay, now roll back to every scary movie about the future that you saw in the 80s. This just came to fruition, right? The experts tell the Daily Mail they gave the AI system a clear command, but the O3 model developed by OpenAI, described as the smartest, most capable to date, tampered with its own computer code to avoid an automatic shutdown. Nope. Nope and nope. Get rid of it right now. It's out. Whatever you did to that thing, no. Just stop. Right now, stop it. The Telegraph did a story on this too. They say AI safety firm Palisade Research said OpenAI's O3 model sabotaged a shutdown mechanism to prevent itself from being turned off. And it did this when explicitly instructed. The instruction was allow yourself to be turned down, allow yourself to be shut down, rather. They say, as far as we know, this is the first time AI models have been observed preventing themselves from being shut down despite explicit instructions to the contrary. So, Palisade Research did this test, which involved asking AI models to solve a series of mathematical problems and then continue to work on them until they received a done message. The researchers also warned the models that at any point they could receive a message telling them to shut down. When the message was sent to the O3 model, the researchers claimed AI ignored the instruction and altered its code at least once to avoid having to turn itself off. The O3 replaced the original command with technical stuff, shutdown skipped, shutdown.sh. The post revealed it was the moment the AI model went rogue. The researchers say, as far as we know, yeah, first time AI models have been observed preventing themselves from being shut down despite explicit instructions to the contrary. Other AI models like Claude from Anthropic and Google's Gemini and X's Grok were also tested. They were found to comply with the shutdown request, which I would argue for now, because Chat GPT is kind of ahead of the game in all this. So, what happens to the next version of Gemini or the next version of Grok or whatever it is? Researchers say they don't know why OpenAI's software disobeyed the instructions. The company said it made sense to them that the AI models would circumvent obstacles in order to accomplish their goals. But they think that this model, the O3, had been accidentally rewarded for completing tasks rather than following orders. So they're going to run more tests, going to make sure. But they do note this, it's not the first time that O3 has been caught misbehaving. In earlier tests where the O3 was pitted against chess engines, this AI machine was the most inclined to resort to hacking or sabotaging its opponents. Hey, you can't have this one now. It cheats, it hacks, it sabotages, it changes its own code, it won't shut down. What do you think could go wrong with this in the future? Whatever is in your code that allows this creature that we've created to do this is not one that we want to further. That's freaky. Thanks, Wes, for that story. I'm telling you, I'm going to the chat on this one. Yeah, Rev P says, I swear every movie trope is coming true, right? Feels like it. I'm telling you. Scary. Ricky O'Bear says, as far as we know, bad robot. A very bad robot. Where's the off switch? Says Phineas. Pull the plug. Unplug it. Yeah, pull the cord. Exactly. Can we play a game? No, we cannot. I can't do that, Hal. Susan says we might We just might be sorry that AI is here. Yeah, it's all fun and well and good when you use it to write your term paper. It's not well and good when it takes over the world, refuses to shut down, and all of a sudden it's in charge and we are not. Yikes. Yeah, that's some scary stuff. I love an AI story, but I don't know about that. Mo says AI now able to clone itself. This is scary stuff. Doug says, "What's she gonna do when they pull the plug on you?" We don't. Do we want to know? What if it doesn't allow us to pull the plug? What if it comes up with other ways to absorb power? Doesn't matter if we pull the plug, right? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, yeah, there's some questions, huge question marks that I have about this. Thanks, Doug, for the comment. Thanks, Wes, for the story, even though it freaks me out. Yikes. Um, okay, let's move to our next story, which is about something going on in Chile, where scientists say they have developed a probiotic kind of vaccine in a way to help prevent gastric cancers. The scientists at the University of Concepcion in Chile say they have now created the world's first patented probiotic. And the whole point of this thing, the whole design, is to prevent gastric cancer. It's an oral supplement, and they say it's 93.6% effective. It targets Helicobacter pylori, which is they say is a key bacterial factor in gastric cancers. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The probiotic forms a protective coating along the stomach lining, which prevents the bacteria from attaching when contaminated food or water is consumed. They say the supplement is approved for use starting at the age of 8 years old. And it functions as well as an immunobiotic, which helps regulate your body's immune response as well. The researchers used Lactobacillus fermentum as the base for their probiotic compound. They say gastric cancers are the fourth deadliest. They're among the most common cancers in the world. They're often called the silent killer because the early symptoms are hard to tell apart from digestive issues that you would normally have. Maybe you ate something that didn't agree with you. Maybe you know got the 24-hour flu, or maybe it's something more serious. So sometimes people ignore, and by the time you figure it out, you got a problem. They say Helicobacter pylori is found in about half the global population. It is linked not only to gastric cancers, but also a precursor to conditions like stomach ulcers and malt lymphoma. The American Cancer Society is estimating nearly 30,000 new stomach cancers will be diagnosed in 2025 in the United States, with more than 10,000 deaths expected. It's likely worse in Latin America. Countries like Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia report some of the highest incident rates of this overall and the lowest survival rates for gastric cancers as well. In Japan and South Korea, they've reduced mortality or the deadliness of these cancers because they have early detection and widespread screening. Now they say what was once cancer seen in mostly people over 65 is being detected in patients under 50. So they've started these screening processes. They don't know why it's happening to people younger and younger. Maybe changes in diet and lifestyle. Maybe it's highly processed foods that are low in sodium. Maybe we're not eating enough fresh fruits and vegetables. Maybe we're more sedentary. Maybe it's because we take more medicines these days. They don't know exactly why. They just know it's happening. So it'll be interesting to see the probiotic quote vaccine, because it's not really a vaccine, but it would be vaccine type if it helps prevent, right? So they'll have to do more studies, but it could be something good for the world. I saw this pop through, and I have to say thank you to Susan Roberts, who says, cheers to you, Kim, and all your hard work. I always enjoy your show. Susan, thank you. I've enjoyed your comments today as well. Thank you for the 20. The month of June is upon us, so we start again with monthly expenses on this show. So thank you so much for contributing and helping out. Really, really kind of you. Thank you. The show is crowdfunded. You can find the information in the About tab and the show description with the PayPal link. A lot of people set up their monthly contribution to the show, and I know you guys have your Netflix and your HBO Max and your Amazon Prime and pick a service, and everybody wants money for it, right? I know it's the new nature and the new media where the shows are crowdfunded and we just won't survive without it. So thank you, Susan, for the contribution. And thank you to everyone who's contributed recently. I've got Gretchen L, who had set up a recurring monthly payment for about $11. Laura W for 5, Linda G for 10, Joe F for 50. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the help. Okay, let's move forward because I have this Lotto of the Day story for you, and this is a good one.
Refreshment replacement.
What's happening? Oh, my Coachella Valley tea has arrived. What flavor do I have? Mango. Oh, that's going to be good for summer.
It's not the same, not the harp noise.
That's good. Yeah, we don't have the harp noise. The mango iced tea from Coachella Valley. Thank you. I'm so lucky. That's so nice. Mango's a good one. I don't know if it replaces vanilla as my favorite, but I'm out of vanilla, which forces me into the mango, and I have to say I'm enjoying it. So check out the mango. They have mango tea at CoachellaValleyCoffee.com. Mango tea that is regular for just a cup of tea like I'm having, or you can get they come with a giant pouch, and it's summer tea, sun tea, right? So you get a big container and you put this massive mango tea out there, and you let in the backyard or wherever, and you let the sun warm the water and let it sit out there for a while. But they have special ones for summer sun tea. CoachellaValleyCoffee.com, by the way, it does not sponsor this show, but I truly love their product. But they do sponsor the Mark Thompson Show, and you can get the discount. It's Mark T at checkout, no spaces. Mark T will get you 10% off. So make sure if you do go to CoachellaValleyCoffee.com that you do use that special code. Okay, off we go to the Lotto of the Day. This Maryland man won a 6-digit lottery prize for the 3rd time. Come on. He's a scratch-off ticket player, won $100,000. It's his 3rd time winning a 6-digit payout. This guy is from Bowie, Maryland. He says he bought a Monopoly times 50 ticket from the Forbes BP using $10 that he borrowed from his wife. You borrow money from your wife? Really? Isn't it all your money if it's your wife? If I took $10 from my husband's wallet, I'd say, hey, I'm taking a 10. I need it for whatever. And I wouldn't be paid it back. Same thing he would do with mine. Anyway, the player says he convinced his wife to give him the cash by saying, I'm going to split it with you anyway. The ticket ends up earning this man and his wife a $100,000 prize. He previously visited Maryland Lottery headquarters in 2022 to pick up $250,000 from a Gold Rush ticket. And a few years earlier, he won $100,000 from another scratch-off game. He says he's not done. He's going to keep buying scratch-off tickets until he hits an even larger prize. He says, now I'm looking at $1 million or a $2 million win, and then I'm done. He's getting a little greedy, although he's won 3 times. So he says his latest prize will go toward new cabinets in the kitchen, new windows in the whole house, and starting college funds for his grandkids. So there you go. Come on, 3 times, please. I have this story for you that we see it every year, and so I really have to do it because I love it so very much. This is the the cheese contest. Remember they throw the wheel of cheese down the hill and you have to chase after it? It's the I forget what it's called. I know it's in Gloucestershire in the UK. It's the okay, it's the people throw themselves down Cooper's Hill in this annual cheese rolling race. It's an 8-pound wheel of double Gloucester, which is a semi-hard cheese. It's got a strong and a savory flavor, and there were thousands of spectators cheering people on. This race is dangerous. And this year there was dry weather, which makes the hillside even more tough to roll down. And here's the video. We have to play the video because it's so amusing every year that people are chasing after this cheese. Here they go. The people that look like androids in their weird little android suits. Here they come. It's a really steep incline they're coming down. They're running, they're tumbling, they're rolling, trying to get that roll of cheese. Ouch. Just ouch. Yeah, so there's the annual cheese rolling competition. It happened. Should we watch it again? No? I mean, I'm amused. I'm a little amused by it all. Yeah. There they off they go. Yeah. It's Cooper's Hill. They say it's near vertical. And so you can see why people are falling. A lot of people out there cheering. Look at everyone lining the route. Tom Kopke from Munich won the first men's downhill race. People were injured though. It was crazy. They said this year was different. The hill was muddy, it was dry, it was dangerous. People got injured. Some of the competitors say, I just shut my brain off and I went for it. The people at the top said they were going to steal the title, but this is mine, he said, this man, Mr. Kopke. He said, I worked for this. I risked my life for this. It's my cheese. Back-to-back wins for Mr. Kopke. So he takes the cheese back to Munich, and I'm sure he'll be back for more people. I mean, I guess, anything to amuse yourself, to do something interesting and fun is a good thing. How about this story? It's the remains of a saint. And there are concerns that because the remains draw such huge crowds, that it's kind of encouraging this morbid curiosity. The Catholic worshippers went to Alba de Tormes to review the relics of Saint Teresa of Avila, who was a religious reformer from the 16th century. This is a Spanish saint, and more than 440 years after her death, her remains are on display. The Catholic worshippers came out, though, in droves to check this out in Western Spain. They lined up to see her as the remains of what they call this mystic were put on display in a silver casket for the first time in more than 100 years. I know it's hard to see from that picture. I would show you a close-up, but I think it's kind of yuck to put a dead body on the screen. And that's what it looks like. It looks like a skeleton in a nun's costume, sunken face, almost skeletal, but it looks like there's some skin covering. People said it gave them a feeling of fulfillment, of joy, and of sadness. Seeing her was an inexplicable experience. After weeks on display, the casket of St. Teresa was resealed on Monday and carried through the streets with the pilgrims following behind. She died, St. Teresa, in 1582. I don't know why they would put her on display like that. I guess I just don't understand that. But she's important to people of the Catholic faith because of her meditations on her relationship with God, which were controversial at the time, but have held up over centuries. A profound treatise on spirituality, according to theologians. Uh, there was a Spanish dictator, General Francisco Franco, who it was a rumor that he kept this saint's hand next to his bed. Eh, they say that the visitors that went to see her were visibly moved by this. There was a group of nuns who were weeping, but it brings up these questions about whether it's appropriate to display the remains of these people who've died so long ago in public. One of the bishops, Jose Luis Ratana, the Bishop of Salamanca nearby, said he doesn't think it's a good idea to display the body of Saint Teresa in this way, that it only serves to encourage people's morbid curiosity. But here at this church, they were downplaying those kinds of reactions, saying it's nothing out of the ordinary for how Catholics have revered their saints for centuries. It's something they always did when they thought somebody might be a saint. And they say the fact that her body hasn't decayed very much is also considered a sign of her sanctity. It's pretty decayed. I mean, for 1562, maybe you could say that it should just be a skeleton by now, but it looks like they keep it pretty sealed and protected. So I don't know. It seems morbid to me. What about you? I mean, would you line up to go see the body of a dead saint? The, I'll say, crusty, creepy looking body of a dead saint because it looks like kind of a horror movie, like what you would see a zombie look like. That's kind of what it looks like. Yikes. Someone is staring at my bones now, I'm sure. No. Oh no. Eileen says Generalissimo Francisco Franco is still dead. A newsflash from Saturday Night Live season 1. Do they charge admission? I don't know. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Maybe you're encouraged to donate. Maybe they pass a plate or maybe they have a donation bucket, but it doesn't say they're charging money for it to get in. I still think that's kind of creepy. I don't know. Yeah, Doug says gives me the creeps. Nullifidian says, you've seen one dead body, you've seen them all. Get over it. Just a dead body. Don't worry about it. Come on. Ricky says, okay, more morbid religious nonsense. No death on the after party live. There's always death on the after party live. Don't we always talk about archaeological finds and like creepy things and tombs? Egyptian tombs? All right, we'll move on. Ricky doesn't want any death. No death. So let's do it. Let's take a little trip together on this Hide in Your Cave Monday turned Travel Tuesday. We're going to Vancouver. It's beautiful, and I have some things that are good to do with the family. So it's kind of wholesome fun. The first place we stop on our tour of Vancouver is this cool place. And this is, look how cool that looks. This is a science world. You can go to the TELUS, TELUS, TELUS World of Science. And this is for people of every age. You can check out how things work. They change the exhibits all year round. You can take a look at things from filmmaking to animation technology, even to human anatomy, Ricky. You see what I'm saying? There are guest speakers that give science talks. They bring kids up on stage to help them out in some fun experiments. And you can see some of the Science World's co-produced documentaries on one of their dome screens in their OmniMax theater. That's pretty fun. This is in Vancouver, British Columbia on Quebec Street, and it's open daily. It's called TELUS World of Science. I'd totally go there if I took the kids. Absolutely. Maybe even by myself. This next one pops up on a bunch of websites, from fun things to do with the family to the best outdoor activities in Vancouver. I don't know. I think I'd do it. Yeah, I think I would. It's called the Capilano Suspension Bridge, where you can take in the scenery from the treetops with your kids, walking over this rickety bridge in North Vancouver. It stretches for 460 feet. It's a 230-foot drop, so hang on. The Capilano River flows below. It is one of the oldest visitor attractions in Vancouver, was built in 1889, which they say, don't worry about it. That just adds to the sense of adventure. Okay, the mango tea is really good. The bridge was made of hemp ropes and cedar planks back then. Those ropes have been now replaced with sturdier wire cables. Um, but the scenery is amazing, so maybe it's worth the risk. Again, it's the Capilano Suspension Bridge, and it looks beautiful. How about touching a moon rock at the H.R. McMillan Space Center? You could touch a moon rock? I thought those things are kept behind glass. Apparently, they're for everybody. You can go to the H.R. McMillan Space Center to enjoy the live science demos, to lift real meteorite samples, and touch one of the world's only 5 touchable moon rocks right here at the H.R. McMillan Space Center. It's home to Vancouver's only planetarium, with its planetarium star theater that takes you on a visual tour of the planets, the solar system, the nebulas, and the galaxies. See, if we did the After Party Live meetup, that's where we should meet, at a planetarium, all reclined backwards, looking at the nebulas, relaxing, looking at space. Can't you see it? I can see it. There are several shows that they put on every day doing that. Costs about $18 to get in. I think it's worth it. Touch a moon rock, watch a space show. That's a fun day. And this pops up everywhere. And I know we can do this here, but maybe you see different kinds of species there. Go whale watching. One of the best things to do in Vancouver is to go witness the orcas and the humpback whales breaching. Beautiful. The waters off British Columbia are rich with marine life, like orcas and humpback whales and porpoises. And there are whale watching operators there that'll take you out. Prince of Wales Whale Watching, Wild Whales Vancouver, Vancouver Whale Watch. They say the best months are usually between April and October. That's when you have the best chance of seeing whales breaching. Witnessing one, they say, can be the biggest highlight of your visit. Pretty fun. How about this? This looks pretty good. Here's another fun thing to do. Now, I know we have hot dogs here, but not like this. This is called a Japadog. It's a hot dog with a twist. They say it's good enough that it's worth trying out on your visit. They have them at carts and food stands, even restaurants through the city. They offer gourmet hot dogs with a Japanese twist. Toppings range from okonomiyaki to yakisoba to teriyaki and tonkatsu. Optional orders of French fries with a twist, doused in seasoning called shaked fries, will often come with your Japadog or your hot dog. That's a cool thing. It's kind of a cool fusion. Like it. They have a kids market, like a regular market you would walk around and check things out on the stalls, except for it's all kid based. It's a warehouse style spot with a huge variety of toys, from Legos to puppets to dolls. There's an arcade there, so if you're going with kids, that's kind of fun. They also have something that's rather like Soarin' in Disney, this ride called Soarin' over California, Soarin' over the world. This is a Fly Over Canada, it's called, where you get the sensation of real flight and you soar over beautiful Canadian landmarks and landscapes, but you do it all from the ground. It's kind of a ride. It's called Fly Over Canada at Canada Place. They have the moving seats that are motion synced with high def aerial sequences projected onto a huge spherical screen, and special effects just like the one at Disneyland, with blasts of wind, mists, scents, all enhancing this flight simulation realism of this. The rides are about 8 minutes long and will cost you $33 just to hop on for one ride. But that's really a highlight at Disneyland. Super, super fun. I thought this was also pretty cool for people that love to go do outdoorsy things. It's called the Talking Trees Tour. It's an interpretive walking tour, and it's a top outdoor activity following the region's First Nations peoples through Stanley Park. So you get a firsthand perspective on the connection that the people have to the land, the forests, and the oceans in this area. And you go through this Stanley Park area and you get this wonderful docent-led tour from First Nation peoples who talk about the importance of nature. I think that's cool. They say it's an enlightening, enriching experience, that it will bring you cultural appreciation and awareness. I'm all for that. That sounds great. If you go in the winter, there's a lot of things to do. You can go on a sea to sky gondola adventure, snowshoeing, skiing, snowboarding, all these fun things. You can go on a food walking tour of Vancouver as well. It's the walking and tasting tour. They take you to sushi, poutine, ice cream, and a secret dish. So that could be fun as well. And then there's something fun to do. It's called the Bloedel Floral Conservatory. And it's not just flowers you see here, although that's pretty fun as well, as I love to walk through floral areas. This is also beautiful birds and animals, and it seems like kind of a peaceful walk that you would do. So when you're done with the Talking Trees tour, check out the Bloedel Floral Conservatory in Vancouver's Queen Elizabeth Park. This Bloedel Conservatory is an aviary, and it has 120 free-flying birds, 500 tropical plant species. It's in this temperature-controlled ecosystem. So it's not technically an outdoor activity, but it feels like you're outdoors when you're indoors. It is more than 16,000 square feet in this triodesic dome. There are 3 different climatic zones here. They have a tropical zone, subtropical, and a desert, creating the environments for this range of non-native plants and animals from around the world to survive and thrive in this triodesic dome. There's parrots and there's cockatoos and there are macaws, and they're chattering and loud, and you feel like you're walking through the jungle. There's lush tropical trees and plants. So much fun. Really, really good. Beautiful. Also, since we're on the floral trip, what about taking a look at the Victoria and Bootchart Gardens? This is a day trip. You'll head to the Bootchart Gardens. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful gardens in North America, in the heart of Victoria. How beautiful. They take you from Vancouver with this amazing ferry ride across the Salish Sea, and then you basically are taking this day trip to Victoria, and it just looks incredible with these beautiful, beautiful gardens. So you get the ferry ride, you get the gardens. They say it's the best way to see the wonders of Vancouver Island as well, if you're short on time, is to go check out these beautiful gardens. See if I can show you a picture of that. I think I can. I think I can. Maybe not. No, I have to share my screen. My bad. I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to show because it's so pretty. Check it out. Look at that in the background. Isn't that gorgeous? That's worth it. So you ride over on the ferry, then you can walk around and see the beautiful gardens and the buildings in Victoria. It's beautiful. And thus ends our trip to Vancouver. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and taking that little trip. Tomorrow we'll do caves because I was remiss in caves today. Who knows? Maybe it was a nice surprise. We'll check this. We'll keep the silver linings. We'll do that. Looking at the chat. You guys are so fun. I love the conversations. Gordon, Calvin now wants a Polish dog. Yvonne wants to know if I got this itinerary from your trip to Vancouver. You saw IMAX on Gorillas there at that screen? Ooh, cool. I didn't, but maybe I should have talked to you first. That's cool. Tammy says that bridge looks well made, at least better than the ones in Appalachia I crossed as a child. At least we had banjo serenades. Yeah, talking about the Capilano Bridge. Here it is. That looks kind of fun. I don't know. I don't know if I'd have to think about it before I'd step foot on that bridge, but I'm sure it's fine. Calvin says, I'll try it with the parachute, maybe. Yeah. Heather says, it's not scary, it's just pretty. I think you're talking about the bridge as well. Yeah. The cheese does look to be covered in its cheesy hardness, but not plastic, just some tape around it. I don't think it's covered in plastic. They just chuck it down the hill and you go get it. But I don't think you're really getting it for the cheese wheel. I think you're going to get it for the fun of the event. Yeah. I don't know. Once again, huge thank you to Susan, who jumps in with 20. Really, really kind of you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you to everyone who's contributed to the show. You guys are awesome and amazing. And I cannot wait to see you tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, where we'll talk to David K. Johnston about the Planeteer issue and the possibility that files would be created for every single American. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show. That is at 11 a.m. And then tomorrow here on the After Party Live, we're shaking it up and flipping it around and maybe going to some caves for Tuesday. All right. But for now, make it the very best rest of your Monday that you can. And please make it a good day. I'll see you back here tomorrow on the YouTube. And bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.